Good morning, everyone. This is the Hyde Park Ninjas coming at you this morning for the morning kick with Ninjava. So this is the SC Kicker and the KO Ninja. So good morning to everybody on this beautiful Wednesday morning here. So KO, how you doing out in Tennessee?
Doing great. Just kind of a slow morning. We had a absolute insane day yesterday, so got home pretty late after work. Fell asleep working on stuff. Just waking up with some coffee and some Ninjava.
I've got my classic blend this morning in Java. It's going down good too. So no better way to start the day. So man, I did the same thing. I got home from classes last night and I was just wiped out from a busy day and got about half the stuff done I needed to. So woke up really early this morning to get going and get caught back up. So I know we've got
Nice.
classes starting off for lunchtime today. So excited. We got a really cool group of guys to come out for jiu-jitsu at noontime. So, all right,
Nice.
let's.
So yeah, this we just kind of wanted to jump on and talk some martial arts. So what do we got going today?
All right, so we got a lot of hot topics going on. I've got a lot of texts and emails over this last week, or I guess over the last 5 days. So let's jump into it. So, all right, so we've got a bunch of things going on here. Let me get into. I guess we'll start with the Jake Paul, Nate Diaz. A lot of people have been asking about this, and it's been a real hot topic around the industry. And I just up front, I am not a big Jake Paul guy for a lot of different reasons. I just don't like the guy. Um, I think he's a good boxer. You know, he's obviously a pretty good boxer. I don't like the way he goes about promoting the fights and also, you know, the people that he chooses for the fights. Not that I don't like the people he chooses, but just for that particular type of fight. So this is another prime example. If I understand this right, so Jake is like almost 100% boxer for the most part. He might have some other skills that he knows, but Nate Diaz is more of a UFC fighter, more into the mixed martial arts. And they're going to be fighting by boxing rules, though, if I read it correct. And uh, my thing is if you're going to fight, don't separate, you know, what this guy knows against the other guy. So if one guy is primarily a boxer, it's going to be harder for the other guy to fight in that arena. So I think that it should be an overall arena, or you just don't have that fight, especially when you're talking about the dollar amounts that are flying around for these fights. So, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, well, you've got two controversial uh, people. You know, some people love Nate Diaz, some people hate him. Same for Jake Paul. So you've got these two characters fighting each other. It's going to draw a lot of attention. A lot of people tuning in, either rooting for one or rooting. At least maybe they'll tune in to watch one of them lose. So I mean, it's definitely going to bring a lot of eyeballs to it. Yeah, I'm not impressed with Jake Paul. He decides to fight retired UFC fighters in something that's not their own game. Uh, yeah, I'm sure he's got some good skill and stuff. I just have yet to see like him really put to the test. So, and I don't know how it's going to go with Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz is a good boxer. He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu too. So he definitely has a lot of experience in boxing, but he's made his career out of mixed martial arts. So but with the age difference, and there's got to be some size difference. Nate's a smaller guy, and Jake I know is pretty built. So as far as the fight goes, I don't know how it's gonna go. Honestly, I think Nate Diaz is actually one of the articles I brought up this morning. Nate Diaz's advantage is his cardio. and then Jake Paul obviously strength and some youth. So um, I can screen share the article really quick
Oh, cool.
here. And so it says, I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Nate Diaz is running two marathons, two triathlons lined up leading into the Jake Paul boxing match. So I think the fight is like 3 or 4 weeks away, August 5th,
Yeah.
and he's running triathlons getting like leading up to that. So I actually haven't heard of many people that do that because it takes so much out of you.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
but him and his brother, they do them all year round. So I mean, they're just always in that great cardio shape. Um, and so that was pretty crazy. I think that's going to be his advantage going into this. Which Nate Diaz, he asked to have the boxing match extended to 10 rounds instead of 8, maybe to help him with that advantage.
Interesting. Yeah, Nate's definitely a scrapper. I mean, you got to about kill him to get him to stop. So, he's definitely
Oh
a
yeah,
scrapper and he's going to be there to win. And man, like you said, there is a big age difference. So you've got, I think Nate is right around 38 years old. I think he's just a year younger than Nick. I think Nick's 39, if I'm correct on that. Um, I think they were born like when I was in high school or getting out of high school, something like that. And I think,
yeah.
what is Paul? Is he like 15? Or 24, somewhere in there. He's a pretty young guy, so there is a huge age gap there, and a little bit of size difference, like you said. I know Paul's a little bit more built, maybe a little bit more stocky. I think I got to go with Nate for the cardio, though. Even at a little bit older age, he's still, still kicking it and doing it. I know his last couple of fights weren't as good, but I'd love to see Nate win this one for a lot of different reasons. I'm just not a big Jake Paul fan. Every time I hear that name, Paul, it sends up red flags in so many different ways, whether it's Jake or whether it's Logan. And I know we're going to talk a little bit about Logan today too, and some of the controversy there. So, have you been following any of that controversy with the Prime?
Yeah, and uh, just a little bit. I don't have all the facts, so I want to be careful not to like um, say something that's not true. I just know. Oh goodness.
Yeah. So you got, to be honest, I know of Logan Paul. I know a little bit about him. I don't follow him on YouTube or anything like that. I know he's been involved in some. I think it's Logan is involved in some crypto. There was a like an NFT or something. Crypto Zoo,
Yeah,
does
it's
that ring
called
a bell?
Crypto Zoo.
And that has turned out to be a debacle from what I'm hearing around the industry. And so every time I hear his name, it's like red flags are up everywhere. And KSI, I don't even know who he was. I thought that was a radio station from the old days or something. So I guess he's a YouTuber, or I wasn't sure what he was. I don't know if he was a soccer player, a YouTuber, a boxer, wannabe boxer, or whatever. So, but so they've got this product Prime, and man, I see this all over the place. The kids, the younger kids at the teenage age groups are drinking this stuff, and just a little research I've done on it. So they've got, I believe it's two different products. One is a more of a hydration, and the other one is just like a energy drink, maybe. And when you look at the energy drink, so I'm not a big energy drink guy. I like coffee. Coffee is my go-to for energy. I love it. It's natural for the most part. I remember back in, I think it was like 2001, competing out in Vegas. I was at Nationals, and I was with a good buddy of mine. Went to watch me compete, and we had a blast out there. But we go to this place, and there was this product called Red Bull, which is pretty popular as well. And I had one of those little cans. I thought I was going to have a freaking heart attack. I couldn't believe it. I was like, my arms were shaking. The hair was standing up on my arms, and I could feel my heart beating. It's just nothing that I want to mess with. And so that was one can of Red Bull. And I felt that way. And I was in really, really good shape. I was probably in the prime shape of my life at the time. And so I'm reading up on this Prime, and I'm looking at the amount of caffeine. So, and this is what the teenage kids are drinking. And it's got, I guess it's the equivalent to like 6 cans of Coke or 2 cans of Red Bull. So if I
Yeah.
was shaking and my heart is pounding on one Red Bull, being in good shape, good diet and everything, I couldn't even imagine having one of these with two times the potency of one Red Bull. That's got to be
Yeah,
a recipe for disaster. I don't know.
yeah, and they're just being looked at. So, I mean, they are under investigation, so we don't know exactly yet, but it is looking like there's a absolute ton of caffeine in there. And so, yeah, I've never been a big energy drink. Actually, I stopped when I was 18 or 19, and I took those little 5 hour energies.
Yeah.
Um, you know, teaching classes all day and stuff. I take those. Well, I took two of them once, getting ready for a run, and again, I thought I was gonna have a heart attack. And since that day, I haven't had energy drinks or 5 hour energies or anything. And actually, I think a kid died that year doing the
Yep.
same thing, taking a few 5 hour energies, and I think he died out in football practice or something like that. So, um, yeah, I heard that, and then I had that little experience, and I was like, nope, I'm done with that. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out, and uh, just the whole thing is interesting. So, um, yeah, we'll see.
When you look at the hydration part of it too, because I think there's 2 different brands from what I read, but the hydration one. So my go-to for hydration and for electrolyte replenishment has always been Gatorade. Gatorade, especially when it first came out before they came to the zero sugar, was always a little bit higher in sugar. So I actually used to cut it with water, and it worked out good for me. And if you look at like when you lose body weight, and especially through water, you're losing sodium. So if you look at the sodium counts between like Prime and Gatorade, it's a drastic difference. In the
Mm,
Gatorade, and I think it's true for what's the other one that's a counterpart to Gatorade? Powerade, I think.
Powerade. Yep.
Those two particular products actually replenish the sodium as compared to like what Prime does. I think Prime has like maybe 10 milligrams of sodium, where like Gatorade and Powerade have closer to like 270. So it replenishes exactly what you're losing. So and then also if you I've seen these done in like taste tests too. The Prime has a much sweeter taste, and where some of the other ones have a little bit more salty taste, and that is due to the sodium that's in it, that that replenishes that sodium that you're losing. So it was interesting. It'd be interesting to see how this plays out. And I think one of the labels, I think I saw on Prime where they do say it's not recommended for people under the age of 18.
Mm,
So, I mean,
that's
should it
interesting.
should there be an age requirement to buy it then? If it's not recommended, I think there should, because like I said, the kids are putting this stuff into their system and we don't really know what's in it. It's a little bit scary in my opinion, especially with athletes. When you're, especially if you're training at a high level, the what your body goes through during those trainings, you don't want to deplete any kind of energy, or you don't want to add anything into your system that's going to, make you pass out or something like that.
Yeah, and that's who they're marketing to is teenagers and stuff. So, um, yeah, we'll keep up with this and see how it plays out, and see where it goes.
So going back to that Nate Diaz and Jake Paul fight. So the fight I always wanted to see was Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. And I know that will probably never happen. Tyson has come out and said that. And there's a drastic difference in the age there too. I know Tyson's a little bit older than I am, and I know back in high school we used to rent those fights. Most of them were over pretty quick, so the parties always started early. But yeah, that Tyson was a machine. If there's like one person I would never want to be hit by, it would be him. And if you look at him in recent videos, have you seen any of the recent videos with him?
Oh my gosh! Like, yeah, there's some. I know at least last year. I don't know if there's any this year. I haven't really checked, but I know last year there's just some him shadow boxing and hitting the bag and just hitting it like a tank. Like still got it.
Yeah, he's a beast. he's a beast. I still even think with the age difference, I think he would destroy Paul.
I don't think he knows what it's like to get hit like that
No, no, I couldn't
by
even
Tyson.
imagine. I've been pretty hard. I've been hit pretty hard by kicks when I
Yeah.
did a lot more full contact when I was younger, and I still would not want to get hit by Tyson's punch. It's just a devastating amount of power. So, but I
Yeah,
would
no way.
love to see that fight. I would travel and I would pay to see that fight if it ever happened, and I might get a front row seat for it. So,
Yeah, that'd be pretty crazy. I'd be up for that too.
man, yeah, if Tyson could make that fight happen, I think I'd give him a year's worth of Ninjava on me, 100%. So, anyways.
I-
All right. So, what else have we got going on? I know in our Discord we've got the UFC pick'ems going on, and last week was an insane card. It was a really good card. I think this week, I think the let's see, I think the main event started around 10 o'clock, and we have a pretty decent card. I know we got Holly Holmes fighting Silva, um, and then I think there's about 14 fights on that card as well, from what I've seen. I'm not sure what time the prelims start.
so we've got
Let me
right
see here.
now. Hey, I'm looking it up right now. Yeah, you got Holly Holmes. Yeah, that card starts at 10. I don't think it's a pay per view.
I
It's a
think it's a
fight night.
fight
So
night, isn't it? Yeah.
yeah, I think those are free, and then 7 o'clock for the prelims. And I mean, honestly, I'm looking at the prelim card. There's just not a whole lot of names that I know. Jack Della Maddalena, I've seen him. Austin Lingo, seen him. Other than that, not too many names that I know. And even on the main card, um, I just really don't know a lot of these people. So kind of a card I don't know much about. I do know Holly Holmes though, and my favorite fight with Holly Holmes is watching her knock out Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
And I remember we were out with some friends and we saw that fight happen live, and that was just a great fight. I have a lot of I know there's Ronda Rousey is controversial, but some people love her, some people hate her. But I think what she did for women's MMA and really put them on the map, I think she deserves a lot of respect for that.
Definitely.
And
She's a
then
world
Holly
class
Holm,
athlete.
yeah, absolutely. And then Holly Holmes was a big name too in MMA, so it is going to be interesting to see. She's coming back after quite a break. Let's see, how old is Holly?
I know Rhonda's right around 42, I believe.
So Holly is 41.
Okay, so I knew they were kind of close in age.
And then so it's just always interesting to see fighters come back, especially you can just when they near that 40 mark. So the only person that has done it extremely well and well into his 40s in my mind is Randy Couture.
Hmm.
He came back and just still dominated through his 40s. That's been so rare. It seems like that 40 things start to, I don't know, not look as sharp. So Robbie Lawler, I don't know if he's 40 yet, but he just had a great fight last weekend and retired.
And retired, yeah.
Um, so he looks sharp, but it doesn't always go that way. So, what do you think? How do you think she's going to come out in this one?
I really want to see her win. I like Holly a lot. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. She is a little bit older and she has been out a while. So, maybe her body is recouped a little bit, replenished, and maybe she's going to come out and just hammer it. So we'll see. It'll be interesting. I'm actually picking her on the card this week. She's definitely my pick. Um, I honestly haven't seen Silva fight a lot,
I haven't either.
so it'll be interesting. I'm looking forward to that fight. So I think I'm actually going to get to watch this week too. Most weeks I just can't stay up late enough. 10
Yeah.
o'clock hits, the main card is starting and I'm falling asleep, but I'm a lot older too. I'm over 50, so I just can't stay up that late.
Yeah,
I'll have
definitely.
to
It makes
I'll have to
makes it.
brew some Ninjava late.
Yeah, it makes the next day difficult for
Yeah,
sure.
definitely. So,
Well,
well, I'm really
I've got
excited to see this card this week. And what else have we got this morning?
Let me see. I got one more article. Let's see what you think about this one.
Let me switch over here. I'll see if I can screen share. All right, let's check it out. Oh man.
So the slap fighting, is slap fighting the next big thing or just unsporting stupidity? And I know this has been out for a while, so but I just wanted your opinion on the slap fighting.
Okay, I've got a really strong opinion on this one. I think it's the dumbest thing I have ever seen. It, I've been hit hard with kicks and punches over the years, a couple elbows. I would never just let somebody hit me in the head as hard as they could. I mean, so if you look at, I love this picture right here. So look at this guy's arm, how extended. I wonder how many people actually hurt their elbows and hyperextend their elbows doing this. I don't know, just on so many different levels, I think it's not smart.
um,
Who came up with this dumb idea, anyways?
I mean, it's been around. So I read a little bit of this article, and it kind of started in Europe with some viral videos, like in 2017, 2018, and then Nate Diaz. Jeez, I got Nate Diaz. Dana White. He saw potential in this thing to take off, and this article just kind of goes into that quick little history um,
Interesting.
of that. And so I was looking at like the rules. There's let's see.
There's got to be some concussion warnings on this, right?
Oh, I think the waiver is pretty extensive. Yeah, and but okay, when so I've fought for many years, and so have you, and I would rather get punched. I would rather get kicked than get slapped. I feel like it's more demeaning, like just getting slapped in the face. I don't know, just something about um, my ego. I just would rather get punch. So, but yeah, right here, power slap fights are typically 3 to 5 rounds. The fighters take turns hitting each other in the face with an open hand. Um, the other person has to put their hands behind their back. They have 60 seconds to recover. You see these guys get like knocked out and then stumble back to their feet, and then they have 60 seconds to recover, and then they get slapped again. It's like, oh my gosh, what is wrong with you guys? They earn points for the effectiveness of the slap and the defender's reaction.
Awesome. So
So
facial expressions earn points.
I guess so.
So you can get the crap slapped out of you and still win based on facial expressions.
Yeah, and this is actually the interesting part for me. All slaps are subject to video review, and then each event has 2 referees and 3 judges. What? Why do you need 2 referees for 2 dudes standing there slapping each other, and then why do you need 3 judges? I don't. I just don't.
That's
That's
crazy. So
that
do they
seems
get
like a.
extra points if like spit flies?
I don't know.
Did they wear
There's all.
mouthpieces or anything?
I'm pretty sure there's a mouthpiece. I'm almost positive. There there are supervising doctors and physicians there. Uh, so safety first. And I don't know.
I don't
I
know.
don't know. This
Stupidity first, safety second.
I
I
would
don't know.
just
I've
I
never
don't
watched it. I had heard about it. I think Dana White practiced it on his wife, I heard in some forum. So I don't know if that's how they promoted it or what the deal is there. Is interesting. I don't know. Just I would never do it. I don't like to be hit in general. So I
yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, I don't like to get hit, but when I do, I prefer a fist.
Yeah. And I want to be able to hit back right away.
Yeah, I know there's like no skill or timing or anything, just so
So who's the
uh
sponsor of that? Is it Prime yet? No, it looks like Monster.
oh,
Okay.
Monster, they got some competition.
I'm sure Prime's
Um
coming, right?
I'm pretty sure Prime signed with the UFC.
I heard that. And did
Um
they sign with one of the soccer leagues or something too?
I haven't seen that one, so
That's crazy.
we'll see how it unfolds.
Good deal. All right. Well, I think that's going to about wrap it up for the morning Ninjava with the ninjas. So put this on your calendar. We're going to be here 9 a.m. Almost every Monday and Wednesday. I know next week I've got some big camps coming up, so we'll take a look at that schedule and go from there. But we'll definitely hit it up on Mondays and Wednesdays, pretty consistent. And then don't forget we have our Hyde Park Ninjas live stream at night, and then we also have one on Tuesdays. It's a pre-recorded, so definitely hit us up in the chat, and then make sure to subscribe and follow us on YouTube.
Yeah, join us on these mornings just to hang out and talk some martial arts. And so if you have an article or a topic or something you'd like to for us to chat about, then yeah, post it in the comments below, and we'll get to it.
All right. Well, everyone, have a great day. I'm off to classes here, so thanks for coming out and kicking it with the ninjas this morning.
All right, see you guys later.